Hello everyone and welcome back to the 83rd episode of PandTha Talks. I remembered this time and didn't fuck it up.
Hey!
Progress, my friend, progress.
Indeed.
So, we have one hell of an episode this week. I want to discuss a little further regarding Black Ops 6, because there was a few things that happened on the TikTok side of things last week, and I feel like they deserve addressing.
Is the beta still going as well, or is it closed?
It's now into public beta outside of private. Public ends on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think.
Well, they've had
open currently.
quite a few days now of people playing it, so I'm sure there's more to go over in terms of that.
Definitely. On top of that, we also have Concord, which we need to cover in more detail because a lot's happened since we covered it last week. I can't really add more to that without spoilers. After that, we'll be discussing some Helldivers 2 news, and sadly, it is not positive news. After that, we'll be moving on to discussing Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Oh, that is crazy.
And that thing is currently blowing up like hell. And we'll discuss a bit about that and why that's such a big important thing at the moment. And finally, we'll be ending it off with modern video games have too much story and not enough gameplay, according to Game Central. It's a reader's feature, so I'm very intrigued. And
what was the game that we discussed at some point over the last year and a half where it was at least 50% cinematics?
Ooh.
Does that ring a bell? Do you know what I'm on about?
It does indeed. Ooh, what were you called?
I wouldn't have an absolute clue what it was called, but I certainly remember it.
I remember what you're on about. I just can't remember the game. If I'll look back and I'll add it into the thing, so you'll have a little tag below of what the hell we're on about, what game it were. But that thing was insane. It was just pretty much all cinematic. It was awful. But anyways, let's get into this week's episode then, I think. So, Will.
Metal Gear Solid has a lot. The fourth one.
Oh, of course it does.
It has a 40-minute cutscene.
Oh, yeah.
It holds a Guinness record with a 71-minute cutscene.
Yeah. Welcome to Metal Gear.
So you finish the game and you just get a full movie afterwards. Like, what?
Pretty much. So, Black Ops 6. I want to discuss this further because of what happened on TikTok last week.
How's it doing? And has it got reviews on Steam? How's it doing on that in terms of that?
It's not got any reviews.
Okay, never mind.
25th of October is when it gets them. So I'm gonna pull up the podcast. Ooh, I actually have a few more that I need to respond to. That's fine. TikTok. I'm pretty sure it's this one. So, no, it's not this one. It's the one before. There we are. So, we were discussing... bloody hell. We were discussing last week how Black Ops 6 being forced to start afresh led to its largest new feature, and that was all, if I recall correctly, about Omni movement. And I stated how, in my opinion, the beta was quite clunky, didn't feel great. Someone did agree with that, saying clunky. I agree. 1 minute people take 2 shots to die, next entire mag, loads of engagement. I hit first, get 10 markers, but lose. It's weird. And I understood where he was coming from with that. I had actually agreed with him, and we were discussing that in a bit more detail. That was fine. Got into a discussion with another guy. Oh my god, the beta is clunky. Because a lot of people don't like that people say this. But this was my response to it, and I feel this is a fair enough reply to anyone in regards to these things. A £70 access for beta, that's just to get into the beta. would definitely qualify as concern. Don't get me wrong, I'm hopeful they are fixed, but if we've learned anything from the last few years, it's not to keep our hopes too high. Though I do have a question in return. Why do you feel the need to defend a multi-million pound currency, in our case, company? I get fanboyism is a driving factor for many, and for others, it can be brand loyalty, but I'm curious, what is your reason? And I'll put that question to anyone who has like any defense for Black Ops 6. Don't get me wrong, there are good parts to it, but stating that it's clunky is, in my opinion, a relatively fine concern to have. Don't get me wrong, I do believe it's going to be fixed before then, but you never know.
I mean,
You can't say for
you'd
certain.
like to hope. We're
Yeah.
talking about a game that's been around for 20 years.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when was the first Call of Duty released now?
Ooh, very long time back. Very, very, very long time ago.
03. So it's 21 years
yeah.
old now.
Exactly.
So when you get to the likes of Modern Warfare and like that's what 08 I want to say, or 07
Something along
maybe.
those lines. Yeah. 08 sounds about right. But yeah, you'd kind of hope that they resolve these things, but there you go. When we got into discussing anti-cheat regarding Black Ops 6 and the cheaters, someone
07.
actually... Oh, 07. Damn. Someone continued to say it's already been said by devs at Activision, obviously by an anonymous employee, that they refuse to permanently ban all cheaters because they'd lose about half their player base. It's a joke, to be honest. It's really not hard to IP ban people, and if COD did use IP bans, then you'd hardly ever find cheaters in game. There's that many people soft hacking, they don't want to do it.
And
we
the
were
fact
discussing...
that is the state of the gaming community at the minute.
Oh, exactly.
But honestly, in terms of their beta at the minute, yes, the point of betas is to whittle out the poor features or the not polished features. You know, basically get the game into a clean state for full release. But we're talking about Call of Duty that, as I said, has been around for over 20 years.
Oh,
they shouldn't be releasing in this state to begin with. If it was a game where it's their second or third game and they've changed a lot of stuff, sure. If the Omni movement was slightly buggy or something, okay. But the whole people taking more than 10 bullets and just living and then they kill you in 2, or the poor spawns that the other guy mentioned, these shouldn't be issues that we have with a game this old.
No, exactly. I am fully in agreement with you.
If you're getting 10 hit markers shooting someone, my only thought is there's some seriously unbalanced items.
Oh, that there is. That's already been said.
Well, I mean, it's always the way, but
yeah,
in terms of either something being too strong or something being stupendously weak.
Both.
Or there's just serious desync. Their servers are taking complete and utter shits, which again, from the amount of money that company's raked in, servers should not be an issue. They should have more than enough to compensate for the amount of players they know they're going to have.
Especially with them working with Microsoft now, and Microsoft have their own server industry and all their own systems for these sort of things. So yeah, I fully agree with you. After that was a discussion on Concord, which we covered. Someone replied, I mean, it's shutting down. You're late. Our community manager responded on our behalf. I never knew. We're not late. The clips are a post from our latest podcast episode on Monday. A lot of the news we go over are things that build up during the previous week. I just found out the news about them shutting down didn't hit until the 3rd, so we wouldn't have covered it in time. Hope this helps, community manager. This is why we have a community manager, people. It's easy. They're helpful. Yes, this was when we were covering Star Wars Outlaws better than Black Myth Wukong. The people who review these games are woke people, so don't take them seriously. Define woke. I'm going to leave that conversation for other people. We don't get involved in any sort of politics. With valid reasoning. But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly cover that before we get started today, because let's be honest, we do cover a lot of things each week, and we've not really responded to any TikTok stuff in a while. So I thought it'd be interesting to look at quickly.
Before you ask, I needed AFK in the background.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's hidden by our little things on this side anyway, so you're fine.
I know, but
just for me, just for my sake.
Yeah, for your
information.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
go
that
with
thing. So everyone, we'll cover the news that was slightly mentioned earlier. Concord is not just shutting down; it is gone, gone. Everyone's getting refunds. Everyone knows this. Everyone's getting the servers shut down. Sorry, the servers are being shut down, and it lasted 2 weeks. Concord, everyone, and
2 weeks. And how many years was it in development? And was it 300 million?
It was not 300 million. I've researched all this.
Is it more?
No, it's less. Thankfully,
okay.
A lot less. Well, I say a lot less. A third of that.
Oh, it was 200 mil.
These are the figures as it stands globally. Concord's development price was $100 million. They raked in 25,000 players, which netted them a profit. Oh, sorry, not even a profit. A loss of $99 million. They had a $1 million gain. That is it. It's the only money that came in. 1 mil. They had a 99% loss on the development of this game.
That's got to be some sort of record.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Like, I've never heard of anything as bad as this. And the worst part, in my opinion, the game's journalists were the ones that were kicking off about this game. They really wanted everyone to play it.
7 players in the game. Are they just AFK on it? Because you need 10 people to play a match.
I actually have no idea. Peak in 24 hours was 11.
Must be in a 4-stack tonight. All right, guys, we'll be right back for the next game.
Yeah,
we're all gonna go get our lunch.
Bloody hell, man! 49, and then obviously, I think when we covered it was
like 70.
Sunday. Here's where we covered it, 113. And I think the news dropped on the Monday or the Tuesday, which kind of made everyone return. And then everyone just kind of went, oh, right, yeah, it's gonna die. What's the fucking point? And this happened, which is a good bit of fun. But as you can see, even the guesses is about 25.5k. So,
this is not much.
Sony's response. Sony pulls video game Concord. Subsidiary says didn't land. That's just mental. Sony has decided to pull the video game Concord not even 2 weeks into its release. The multiplayer shooter failed to gain traction after making its debut on August 23rd on PlayStation and PC.
Third that it shut down.
I can't even pull it up on here, so I don't know why I'm trying. That's Cord. No, I'm trying to say Concord. Yeah, you can't even find it in the Steam store anymore because it's been gone, removed.
I'm sure it'll say in this post we're about to read.
I'm hoping so. But I mean, I struggle to even find it in this. It's just because it comes up as an app data. Do you have anything? No.
We'll find it. We'll find it in the post. It'll be.
Ryan Ellis, game director at Firewalk Studios, which was acquired by Sony Interactive Entertainment in 2023, confirmed the decision Tuesday. So that is the third, yeah. Bang on.
So it lasted 10 days. Not even 2 weeks. 10 days. It just about made it to double digits.
Yeah.
I hope that we can see the time of release was later in the day, and then the time of shutdown was earlier in the day, so it technically didn't last 10 days.
While many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognized that other aspects of the game and our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Ellis wrote, "Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th, 2024, and explore options, including those that will better reach our players. A full refund will be offered to anyone who purchased the game."
So that means they made no money. So they technically hit 100% loss.
Yeah, realistically. Wait. I need to cover this a little bit here because this has actually kind of annoyed me. Similar to popular games like Valorant, and Overwatch, Concord was reportedly developed over 8 years. It never took off, according to various third-party trackers of online gameplay, peaking at 660 concurrent users, a tiny fraction of the top multiplayer games draw. Well, yeah, you see, there's a few main differences. And I have to say,
A few.
697, that's what they're probably using. Peaking, yeah, that's all it fucking did. It hit it for like a brief moment. But yeah, there's like a major problem I have with all this. Do you know what it is, Will? Can you take a wild guess? What annoys me about them comparing to Valorant and Overwatch?
They're free.
They are now, yes. Now, the reason Overwatch did well was because it was the first of this style of game, really, apart from TF2, which was already free. But it brought a lot of people into the series, a lot of people enjoyed it, and then they went free for the sequel eventually, and they kind of needed to. But we all know the review scores on Overwatch 2, so,
Yeah.
you know what, just for shits and gigs. Oh, look, even that's at 54k players.
20%. Oh my god.
This makes even less sense now when you look at it. Just how?
It just shows people have nothing better to do with their time.
Oh yeah, free to plays, mate.
Someone just copy and pasted the graph from the looks of it. Oh my god, there's just so many.
Yeah. 14 months ago. Over 250,000 people. Just, yeah. So, going free to play is the best for these sort of things. Just sell skins or whatever. People don't care about that. People are happy with that. That's reasonable. If you go beyond that, shit. Go on.
You know, so obviously when you sell a game, when your game is in the Steam store,
yeah,
when it's purchased, a percentage of that purchase goes to Steam.
It does, yes.
So when they had to refund, did they have to pay for Steam's part of the take? Or how does that work? Because I can't see Steam refunding the part that they took, because that's the whole point of it being on this shop. So technically, if that is the case, right, does that then mean they actually lost even more again from refunds? If every single person was to get the refund, right, does that not technically mean, going by that theory, that they have to pay for Steam's part of the take from the original sale, that they've lost even more again?
You know, I'm not too sure. I'm not clear on Steam's refund policy and how it affects development side.
Yeah, as far as I know, neither of us have created and developed and released a game, so we wouldn't know.
Okay, that's the next PandTha Talks challenge for Rory, it seems.
God.
Create, develop, and release a game on Steam. Okay. This will be
I'll
a fun
review your
couple
game,
months.
break it in 700 different ways, and upload my own solo podcast episode of how dog shit your game is.
I'll join in, don't you worry.
No, I'll let you do your own solo part and then record over it and have yours in the background respond to everything you say about your game and then just completely obliterate it. Squash it into the ground with the tip of my foot, you know?
Right. A tiny fraction of what... Yeah, we know that. A financial investment in a major game title, which can easily reach tens of millions, can't dent a company's financials, given the additional marketing costs associated with launching it. This is then talking about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, after Hogwarts Legacy. We all know that. But how bad was it? Why do I keep typing it like that? Concord.
Do you just keep typing Cord again?
Yeah, I do. Why Concord failed? We already know why it failed.
I mean, that screenshot.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't happy with like the designs of the characters as well.
I mean, they just look so. Some of them look so similar as well. The characters we've already seen.
Yeah.
They don't seem unique.
I just don't see a reason to play it. We've already got enough of them. You know what I mean? That's my entire thing about it.
And that's the issue with these style of games. There will come a point where we have so many. When another one comes out, no one's going to want to play it.
Yeah.
It could look absolutely brilliant. It could play absolutely phenomenally. And it could have really fun game modes. But if you don't have anything unique compared to the ones that are already out, no one's going to care because they've already sank so much money into all the skins and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So apparently, yeah, I was right. It's estimated to have only sold 25,000 units, which is just mental.
I mean, that's where their first issues as well. But as you said last week, the other ones are all free.
Yeah.
The main ones, Valorant and Overwatch, are very similar to this game, are both free.
Yeah.
And then you're having to pay to play this one. Like, why would you even bother? Even if you knew nothing about the games, people just said it was similar to these two games.
Why would you pay if there's free-to-play alternatives?
Yeah.
That was my reason for not bothering about Call of Duty when I first joined PC. I had TF2 and things like that. They were free-to-play. I didn't have to spend money at the time. At first, $40, Concord also suffered from what was considered to be an overly high price point, given that its main competitors are free-to-play. Yeah. That is just the big issue with it, to be honest with you. And to be honest, the hero shooter market, it's already kind of overwhelmed. You don't really need any more. You know what I mean? Unless you're going to do something brand new, what's the point? Oh, here we go. Concord's failure cost Sony $214,285.71 per player. So let me just quickly, we'll do this math. So remember, there was 25,000 times that
anyone
by
that played had 200 grand spent on them. How kind of Sony.
I know, right? It makes a change for them to actually give something for free. Oh wait, that even cost. So it cost Sony $5.35 million. Wait, no.
Yeah, it's not billion.
That's billion.
Not right there. Something's not right here. I think numbers are inaccurate.
Yeah, someone's number somewhere is wrong. These numbers are wrong. Concord video game estimated to be between 50 and 150 million to develop. Really went into a meeting and said, yes, let's sell our game. Let us sink in. Money laundering. Someone's claiming it's money laundering. Government-funded game, pure insanity in Sony Californian headquarters. Oh, that's funny. Yes, let's money launder using whatever this is.
Dear God.
I would not want to play as any of those. I don't know about you, but no. Anyways, that's Concord. It's been shut down, and this is actually a response from PlayStation / the developers. So let's cover this before we move on. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback.
Backing up already. What fans? The game wouldn't have failed if you had fans.
Concord sufferers. We've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC. We want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Give me a moment. There we go. Want to thank everyone who's joined the torture aboard the North Star. Your support and passionate and the passionate community that has grown around this game has meant the world to us.
How dare they disrespect the North Star like that?
This is getting a bit annoying. This.
Your pen. Your agony and the screams.
Your agony and the screams that have grown around the game has meant the world to us. Now, this is starting to sound more accurate. You know, like PlayStation actually originally wrote it.
The worst part is, right, it's from Firewalk Studios, and they were probably given a script to write.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably going to type it out 500 times as a punishment.
Oh, yeah. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game and our initial launch didn't land the way we intended. Therefore, at this time, we've decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th, 2024, and explore other options, including those that will better reach our players.
Reach no one.
We are lying, we are running away, you scared us. I feel that just translates that entire paragraph better. While we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 or PC. If you've purchased the game for PS5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. Please take your money and leave us alone. Customers who purchased from other digital storefronts will also be refunded. More information about refunds from Steam and Epic can be found below. Well, that's a pretty easy one. Please don't hack us, you PC geeks. Once refunded, players will no longer have access to the game. We'll keep you updated, and thank you again to all the free gunners who have joined us in the Concord Galaxy. Because they just don't know how to apologize. I feel like I've summed this up pretty well.
This post got significantly shorter all of a
It did. But doesn't it read better? Concord sufferers, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC, and we want to thank everyone who has joined the torture aboard the North Star. Your agony and screams that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. We are lying and we are running away. You scared us. Please take your money and leave us alone. Please don't hack us, you PC geeks. Refund information. Once refunded, all players will no longer have access to the game. We don't know how to apologize. Doesn't it read better? It's like you got all the same information.
30 days to get your refund through PlayStation.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
We're not going to refund your money. We're just buying ourselves
time.
Oh
no! Don't worry. That's much better than that. It takes 0 days for a refund on PlayStation if you don't have a PlayStation. I don't like PlayStation. You know this. Me and Sony don't get along after the last couple of years of their fuckery. But we know this. So, anyways.
Oh, Helldivers.
Yeah, let's move on from that bullshit with Concord. As funny as it is to point and laugh
As
from a
long as
distance.
Sony's not involved in this post, then it should really realistically be good news. Okay. I'm going to take my headphones off, set them gently on my desk, and walk away now.
I can see why. Helldivers 2 is getting significant changes in September as Arrowhead takes inspiration from player fantasies. Sounds good, yeah. Well,
It's just going to be...
oh, good, he's back. So...
I was here, I was just,
yeah,
crying silently.
I need to bring this up because I, the other day, was reading around. I saw something bad about Helldivers. I was like, what the fuck? And something must have gone off.
Evidently so.
But I can't find many details. And then I start scrolling. And basically, it all came down to balance. It was a good game until Sony started to put their hands on it. Then Arrowhead decided to shove the meta down to nothing being usable. They really got their slogan serious when it said, a game for everyone is a game for no one, and now no one wants to play it.
So it's just a repeat, and Sony decided to start trying to do stuff with the game again, and the game has went.
Well, kind of. So Sony hasn't touched it since, which is a good thing. But
right, so with all the negative feedback, surely they're going to undo the changes or just like not do the update.
Well, this is the thing. They kind of nerfed a lot of things, making the game 7 times harder than it needs to be, which is annoying a lot of people, which is what this is all about, basically. And the reason I thought I'd bring it up quickly is Helldivers 2 developers are now trying to fix this by pushing some updates that are going to make a lot of changes. But once again, until we get in game and get time with these changes, we don't know how it's going to impact.
Yeah.
But due to what's happened, a lot of people obviously are quite upset. Due to that, they needed another game that makes them feel like a badass in a bunch of armor, murdering everything. You know. And that's kind of where the next thing we're going to mention comes in.
Yay.
Now, I'm not a big fan of Warhammer games. I like Vermintide 2. Don't get me wrong. I do like that game. But Space Marine 1 I played, I really wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it at all. But I have quite a few friends who like Space Marines and Warhammer and all that jazz. And apparently, since Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 came out, a lot of people are actually quite impressed. And a lot of people are enjoying it quite a lot. Though I do have to laugh that some people are there saying, the controls feel clunky. Right. Do I need to scroll up to where you're walking around in a giant clunky piece of armor?
Yeah.
Do I need to point that out? So, let's have a bit of a read and have some like comparisons between the sort of, mass slaughter in large armor, because that pretty much sums up Helldivers, Gears of War, Warhammer, and probably a few other games. I was halfway through the opening level of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I'm just going to shorten that to Warhammer. Campaign, unloading bolt rifle rounds alongside my 2 squad mates, and I found myself smiling at just how good it feels to be back in this futuristic, grimdark fray. It's been over a decade since the original, but Space Marine 2 reinvigorates the squad-based shooter series with seeming ease. The environments are varied and breathtaking, the running and gunning feels great, and the sense of comradeship while fighting with your team, be they bots or friends, can feel exhilarating. It may not break much new ground in its genre, but it didn't need to for me to have a blast playing through its dozen-hour campaign. To be fair, it doesn't need to. You don't need to break new ground as long as it's fun and engaging. Not to be funny, the one way that you're immediately going to get people, oh, you can play with your friends slaughtering everything. Of course, people are going to play that.
I mean, sure, new things are great and all.
Oh yeah,
How many games have you played where you've gotten to the end of the game and you just wish there was more?
yeah, tons.
It doesn't have to be brand new mechanics or brand new weaponry or whatever you want to add in. Just more of what there already was.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Make it
that
longer, make more maps, make more missions, anything.
reminds me of you and me at the end of Bonding Ambivalence.
Mm-hmm.
All we wanted was a bit more. And actually, mentioning that quickly, we have to address something
Oh.
because I feel bad about this. So,
Hmm.
over a year ago, we originally reviewed Bonding Ambivalence. We were together in person. Uh, we had a hell of a time, had a really good laugh. We recorded our first episode together in person. That was insane. We had
Yep.
we had a damn good time with it. And we'd
Mm-hmm.
recently played Bonding Ambivalence together. That I think it was like the night before or a couple of nights before. And we reviewed it basically just talking about how much we enjoyed it, what great features we thought it had, and how enjoyable it was just as a co-op game with some puzzles. It was great, really good time. And I was scrolling through TikTok at 4 o'clock in the morning the other night, and I came across one of the developers who responded to us over a year ago, and
Yeah.
I never saw it.
No.
And I feel so bad for that because I truly did adore that game, and I am so thankful to the developer for responding to us and thanking us for our review because we adored it. It was phenomenal.
Yep.
But I just wanted to say how sorry I actually am for missing that message. I think it was because we were in person together and we were doing so much random shit that week. We kind of lost track of time a lot and barely went on his phones. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things.
Plus, that was back when we were still like sorting a lot of stuff out in terms of what
Oh,
we were
yeah.
doing with this.
Things look a lot better now than they did a year ago. I mean, as you
Sure.
found out in our first ever episode, we covered Skull and Bones of all things.
Yeah, that it was delayed again, apparently.
Yeah.
Surprise,
Mental to
surprise.
consider. I mean, now it's out, and who'd have thought back then it would have been so bad?
Oh, God.
So, let's get out of the way. The original Space Marine clearly took inspiration from Gears of War, and this sequel follows suit. That's not a problem. Once again, this is highly acceptable. It's a squad-based shooter starring heavily armored dudes who growl their dialogue while either shooting guns or revving chainsaws to ward off invading aliens. The similarities don't bother me a bit, especially when one could make the case that Gears borrowed from the from Warhammer First. It's been years since I've played a game that scratched that particular itch, and Space Marine 2 uses rich lore of Warhammer 40k to carve out its own identity. I'm not too bothered about the lore. I'd just play it to go and slaughter a bunch of shit. That's why I
Lore.
played Helldivers. I
But
mean,
Rory, the lore.
but no. I don't want to play 20 questions with you, IGN. Fuck off. This seems like it's just going to be a lot of details about the game. So you got enemy variety. I'm happy with that. I don't know about you, but you need enemy variety, weapon variety, mindless slaughter, and friends, and you're pretty much sorted for a game.
Yep.
That I
Sounds
could
about right.
happily. To be honest, I must admit though, they're right. That is a stunning photo. If that's in game, that is nice.
Yeah, that's something else right there. And that's just the kind of shit you need. Like, you don't need something that you have to do for 10 hours. Just
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that you just notice as you're going by.
Ooh. Yeah, that's all game. Damn. Yeah, I'd probably end up skipping most of the cutscenes, mind you, but I would definitely sit down and play that. Just for some mindless slaughter. Oh, yeah. Proper, like, Trenchland. The blood needs a bit more texture, but... No, that was pretty cool. Gotta give it to him. Those first couple of pictures, though, blow it out of the water for me. Just that.
There's some work put into that.
Oh, definitely. Sure. Eternal War is a PvP mode, but unfortunately the pre-launch population was so low that I wasn't able to test it out. If they're adding a PvP mode to a game like that, I'm not sure it's going to go well, but I think everyone will enjoy the campaign and the co-op. I think that's all you need, really. I'm not quite sure on the shooting, but once again, if I was playing with friends, I don't think I'd care. Especially watching all the blood and gore. So, you know what? Yeah, I can get behind it. It's pretty fair. But yeah, Helldivers seems to have gone on a drop. But Space Marine 2 definitely seems to have grown quite a bloody bit. So fair play to it, and congratulations to them. Good developers.
Helldivers already pulled themselves out of a pit, so hopefully they can do it again.
Oh yeah, they're not the dumbest, are they? So I guess we need to cover this interesting character who Game Central for some reason keeps letting submit bloody readers features. I swear it's all just the same person. I just keep coming across their content screaming internally. Modern video games have too much story and not enough gameplay. Okay, I'm going to need some examples before I can agree or disagree. God of War went from a moral monster to sad dad. Oh, you're going to be one of these people. Okay.
Oh no, not this again. Rory?
Yeah?
Rory, calm down.
No.
Breathe.
No.
Breathe.
No. I don't want to.
Actually, no, that's a good idea. Don't breathe, then we don't have to listen to you go off again.
A reader's feature worries that video games spend too much time on backstory and tortured heroes than they do on kick-ass gameplay. What happened to gameplay? I agree with the article. PS5 games have become too serious with no sense of fun. Having grown up with the development of consoles, yes, I used to own an Atari 2600 back in the day. I've seen how the gaming world has developed. Whilst there are a lot of good modern games, they seem to lack the pick up and play element and humour. As the previous article noted, the protagonists all seem to have some emotionally driven backstory. I need to reread that a little bit. So, whilst there are a lot of good modern games, they seem to lack the pick up and play element and humor. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, fair enough. It just seemed to lead on just out of the blue. Like this last sentence could have been anywhere else and it would have fit better. Maybe it's just me, but where are all the modern day equivalents of titles such as Road Rash, Blur, or Duke Nukem?
Right. Get off your fanboyism PlayStation, get a PC, and start playing indie games. There you go.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, but I also need to disagree slightly because you see, this man just used Duke Nukem as a response. Now, anyone who's got any understanding, Duke Nukem Forever was the last Duke Nukem game that really came out, and it was despised by most. People still fucking like it for some reason, but even as they say, comically bad, not even worth buying to enjoy, as you might a bad movie. It's just so dumb and dreadful, but people vote it positive because it's just dumb shit. It seems like he's the type of person to enjoy them. Give me a game where the protagonist is essentially a person born to kick ass. Yeah, you are the essential person to the Duke Nukem audience. Good to know. I'm not interested in their backstory, and to be honest, story cutscenes have me reaching for the skip button every time. I don't
It'd
need
be
to
like the
know.
rest of us and hit the skip button.
I don't need to know about their relationships or motives. I just want to play the actual game. You see, I like a good story though. I do. I enjoy a story. But if there's ever a story I'm not bothered by, I'll skip it and move on. If you
Oh,
play games.
this next paragraph he's gonna come off with is gonna piss me off.
Oh, this'll be fun. I don't like this guy already.
Both of us
Oh.
don't like him now.
Also, some games seem, to me at least, overly complicated. Take Diablo 4, a good game that I enjoy playing.
God.
No, let me type.
I'm not even sure what's going on at this point.
Also, some games seem, to me at least, overly complicated. Take this bullshit I'm spouting, Diablo 4, a good game that I enjoy playing, but only after extensive online searching for character builds, which seem to require advanced mathematical qualifications to get the most out of your character's stats. The
Which is a
storyline.
complete load of garbage.
Yeah. The storyline was great, apparently, but to me, cutscenes and extended dialogue just bog the gameplay down. Do I need to know about Lilith? No, I just want to get on with hacking and slashing hordes of enemy monsters. Right, this is what happens when Call of Duty kids grow up.
There's literally skip buttons for a reason. In terms of the character builds, there are so many difficulties of Diablo. You don't have to play on the hardest difficulty. And if you want to build a good character, learn to read.
Not
That's
just
all you
that.
gotta do. You just read what the armor does and you read what skills you have. You make a build where your skills complement each other and you're fine and dandy. You go until you get weapons that complement your skills, that give your skills extra damage, and you're flying.
Do you know the reason I said this is why what happens when Call of Duty kids grow up? Because nowadays, in Call of Duty multiplayer, the reason so many Call of Duty kids end up playing for so long is because they Google what the meta builds are for guns. Now, I don't know if you're like me, Will. I don't like metas. They bore me. I have no
Man,
interest.
I literally use a gun in Rust that majority of the population of Rust consider absolute dog shit, and I run around with it and slaughter people who run the best gun in the game.
By any chance is it though because you prefer that gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just enjoy playing with it.
I am very much the same. If I find a gun that I enjoy and feels good to me, that is what I play. Same with anything in any game. If I find something I enjoy, I will play with that. I don't care if I'm at a disadvantage, I enjoy that. This is what I meant though by Call of Duty kids growing up. He basically just wants to run meta, but doesn't understand how to make one himself. Just create
That's
a
the thing with
fucking
Diablo
class.
though. There isn't a meta. You
No.
make a build and you build off of that build. You keep getting it better. They're probably not, as I said, they're probably not reading. Like
Yeah.
you pick up so many different armors and weapons that all have different stats, which you can also re-roll, by the way.
Oh yeah.
If they have all but one stat, maybe it is useless to you because it's for a different skill. You go and re-roll that skill.
Waiting.
And this is why I really liked Diablo 3 with new seasons, because each season, for each character, you would get a different set piece, like a different set build. So it was just an excuse to go and try different builds, because you got that a jump ahead once you got the free set off of completing the storyline quests.
Oh yeah.
and it meant that you didn't have to go like and find those pieces on your own by just constantly dungeon grinding. You did the base missions, got the set pieces, and then built off of that.
Oh dear God, was I too accurate?
Go on.
We're gonna have to read a little longer to get to the point where what I've just said makes sense.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
If I want quality acting and plots, I'll watch a movie or read a book. What I want when I sit down to play game is action, involvement, and maybe a little humour delivered through gameplay. I'm all for character development too, but is it really needed in video games? Yes, it's an interactive story, you fucking... When God of War was released back in 2005 on the PlayStation 2, it was an instant hit, a fast and furious collection of battles and puzzles that hit the mark. Kratos kicked ass and made it with ladies. I'm starting to really tell you were a fucking Call of Duty kid. Fast forward to the God of War reboot, which is a slow-paced, single-parent snooze fest with much boat rowing. Yes, there are battles and puzzles, but after playing it, I didn't feel any sense of achievement. Rather, I was just glad it was over. You didn't feel any sense of achievement. As the console world has grown, so have the games grown up. Unfortunately, developers have traded fun and gameplay for stories and cutscenes. And I get that they want to create an immersive world for the player to escape to. But if a game has that just one more go element, it really doesn't need an in-depth story. All you need, after all, are you really playing a game so that the character can right whatever wrong has happened, or are you playing it to blast, hack, punch the bad guys into oblivion whilst looking and feeling good about it? Well, that really depends. Because as me and Will have discussed many times on this channel, we play games for escapism. Now, there's multiple ways about this. Sometimes when we're on our own, we just want a good story to dive into, because that is a good escape. You escape into something else, into another world, and storytelling like Cyberpunk or Skyrim, things like that. What do you think we go for?
I'm confused, to be honest, about the point of this post. This guy's complaining about games that aren't just hack and slash games.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you complaining about games that are not meant to be hack and slash games, not being hack and slash games? There are new ones like that. Like there's No More Ruben Hell 2 coming out?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Where you're literally just gonna go through levels slaughtering everything you see.
With your friends.
That's the equivalent of what he's wanting.
Yeah.
But instead he's gonna go after I can't even think of names. You know me and names. What's came out recently that's like a story game?
Oh, there's God of War, we can go for Cyberpunk in that one. Let's have a look. What we got? Red Dead 2. We can go with that for its one.
That's old as fuck.
Yeah, I know, but still, it works.
But basically, my point is games that are made with the thought in mind that this is a storyline based game. What the gameplay is outside of the story is one thing, but the whole point of it is a story based game.
Yeah. That's why they used to be called story mode instead of single
typically
player.
Your protagonist, something has happened to them. They want to either get revenge or wrong something or right something that was wronged or whatever the reason. If it was a hack and slash game, it would be made as a hack and slash game. I don't get the point of this post.
I don't understand why they're bitching so much either. But
it's like, oh, why is this FPS not an RTS? I would so prefer that. I want an RTS game to play. But I'm sitting here playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6, complaining how I'm not playing an RTS game right now.
Oh, don't worry, I don't think he'd complain about Black Ops 6. Because a good example of modern gaming getting it right, at least in my opinion, is Call of Duty Zombies mode.
The whole point is to sit and slaughter zombies and get as high as you can. But guess what? There's a story in them. They're called Easter eggs.
Yep.
Oh no, nobody tell him. We'll ruin his favorite thing.
No story. It does have a story that has been ongoing across multiple games, GC. No character development. You're a soldier, here's your guns, go shoot zombies.
I'm sorry,
I
what
didn't even
happened to
bother
Richtofen and the
finishing
gang?
the campaign. Yeah, I thought the same.
There's literally a full storyline with character development that went on for many years.
Yep.
So he's got to be on about recent zombies because they've not really had much in them. There's been quote unquote a story, but it's not been anything like Nikolai and Richtofen and all that jazz from the original Call of Duty Black Ops, the original trio.
Zombies mode, solo or with friends, was all I needed. Given how popular it is, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Yes, modern games have come a long way since the days of Pong and Space Invaders. But when it comes to video games, more detail and complexity isn't always a good thing. For me, gameplay will always be the most important thing. And that's completely fine. But play games dedicated to that. Don't whinge about other people's choice in games.
He doesn't need to. Go back to Black Ops 3, where it's got the workshop open to community, where you can find infinite content from new maps. Ones with stories, ones without stories, ones with missions to do, ones with Easter eggs, or just one that is just a challenge map where you have to try and go as long as you can or get to the end of the map.
I mean,
without dying. There's so much variety. You don't stop complaining about what's being released that people are actually enjoying, and just go back to the games that you were enjoying that you can still enjoy because they have next to infinite content.
Oh yeah. I can't understand his entire reason for complaining. I'm actually
go back to Diablo 3. Every 3 to 4 months it's a new season. They're running through the 30 seasons or something, so you've got plenty of years of just playing through stuff that you probably missed or just didn't play. Again, with Black Ops 3 custom maps, you can go and play a ton of those. There's MMORPGs, if you just want hack and slashes, there's plenty of those that exist as well. You just run through the levels, slaughtering everything you can find. You don't have to care about the storyline.
No, well, you can't possibly tell him to go play Diablo 3. He doesn't know how to make builds. He can't read. Reading's too much of a story, even if it is the menu tutorials. The tutorial's too much of a story for him. Leave him alone.
I got nothing.
Oh, honestly, so that is just. Oh, I don't think I've ever felt so sorry for someone.
The post just doesn't make sense.
No, that's why I feel sorry for them.
He's complaining about something that isn't another thing. He doesn't like it because it's not something else.
Yeah.
I say, well, the whole point of it is because it's not that thing.
Yeah, it's for other people.
There's so many genres of games, and you're complaining about a type of genre because it's not another type. And it doesn't make sense.
You know what? I'm gonna end this episode with a question for everyone. What the hell do you all think about this? I don't care if you agree or disagree with us.
Screw that. What's your favorite genre? How about that?
Yeah.
What style of game do you prefer to play?
Do you prefer stories? Do you prefer hack and slashes? Do you prefer just
choose another style instead?
Yeah, do you prefer something entirely different that we've not mentioned? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know, because genuinely, I'm actually curious at this point. Who else thinks like this, man?
I hate MMORPGs, so there you go. There's my input.
I know you do. There's not much you do enjoy. You're Irish. I mean, what?
I love majority of styles of games. I play flipping Rust, where it's non-stop slaughter each other, which is an FPS, and then I go to bloody Mindustry, where I'm flying around as a little robot building blocks. Go ahead.
All of those games that you play, though, have one common factor. You're being tortured.
Am I being tortured?
Rust, you're being tortured by having to deal with others.
Right? What's wrong with Mindustry? Spaghetti.
Well,
What's spaghetti's awesome.
Spaghetti is awesome, but mental spaghetti is not awesome.
I don't know. I wish I knew off the top of my head which one of my maps was the worst looking, so I could just give you a screenshot of that. But,
I think I'd sue you for like mental torment.
To be completely honest, compared to random people I've seen online, whenever I every now and then randomly join like lobbies, my stuff is actually kind of neat in comparison, which I was very surprised by.
See, I'm thinking. I wasn't even thinking of Mindustry when you said it. I actually started to think for some reason of Factoria.
Oh no, I didn't enjoy Factoria. I don't play it for a reason.
Yeah, but it's like
this is probably my
days.
worst example. 7 Days was great until they decided to just completely and utterly annihilate the game's performance.
Again.
They did that like years ago on.
Oh right.
When Alpha 19 came out, I'm pretty sure is when the performance of the game went to shit. There you go. There's like the worst example I can give you.
Well, let's all look at this. Well, let's all have a laugh. So you're telling me that's not in some sort of like mental torture?
Nope. Because I build one line of it, hold F and drag over it, copy that blueprint, and then just place them all next to each other again and again until it fills out. And then my guy just sits and builds it automatically. It's not that bad. There's a reason I come back to this game every few months.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me. That looks a bit too convoluted for me. Which is ironic that I'm saying that to you, considering whenever you've got a problem with your system, you come to me. But I look at this and I'm like, nah, it's too confusing.
See, what I like about this is everything is so clear.
Oh,
you know, like other games like Factorio, everything is just so squashed in together and so similar looking in color and style. It's so annoying to look at. Whereas I come to this and it's like I can see everything clearly now.
Yeah. So, Will, before we end this week, is there anything you'd like to add, or say, or do?
Nothing I can think of.
That's about part of the course, my friend.
I think I got everything out of my system already.
By any chance, was it all about that guy I think called Jason?
Of course, his name is Jason.
Panda has a new hatred in life. Don't worry, I'm on the list as well. So
you were never off of it.
Ouch, bitch.
Yeah,
anyways, thankfully, yeah, we're all done then for this episode. It's been a weird one. I didn't expect that episode to be how it was, primarily with the final part. That was just bad Jason person. Don't like you. I would just like to quickly mention episode 78 that for some reason is still going on. We don't know why. I've been trying to figure it out. It's just still continuing. But I would like to thank everyone who's been watching, supporting, and subscribing and liking and all that good stuff and commenting.
Has not stopped.
Yeah, honestly, I've been struggling a bit keeping up with everything. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, but it's been great. I absolutely love everything that we do to do with this podcast. It's something that I truly enjoy doing each week, and I'm extremely thankful to everyone who watches, supports us, likes, comments, subscribes, follows. If anyone does eventually join the Discord, we'll be sure to start communicating in here. We don't at the moment because it doesn't really get much use. Other than us, once a week we jump in, or if we're bored and we just want to talk, we'll jump in. So yeah, but yeah, thank you all very much for that. If you have enjoyed, obviously do what I said before: like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, we will be back next week, I'm sure, for another episode. And all should be well till then. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye for now, guys.
Have a good one, guys. See you again.